I have to ask this to everybody and everybody out there, whether you're a Gen X, whether you're a boomer, whether you're a millennial, or whether you're a Gen Z. But I really want to know what Gen X thinks. And that is, are we too divided now as a nation, politically, morally, socially, to correct it, to fix that divide, to narrow it, to bring everybody together once again and unify the country? Is it possible? That question was posed the other night when I was doing the live stream. Is it possible? What would it take to unite everybody? Well, the last time the nation became united was a devastating event that killed thousands of people. And nobody wants to see that again. That would be absolutely heartbreaking. But yet there's a segment of society, and it happens to be the people that would be left-leaning that would say, oh, they deserve it, just like the last time. Twisted individuals that hate themselves so much that they'll cut off their own nose to spite their face. So again, I have to ask, are we so divided that it is impossible to now unite us again as one nation? Has it come to the point where everybody has been divided and taught vitriol, vile hate for anybody that's different than them and not them, that we become so divided now that it's impossible to unify? I mean, think about it. We are more divided now. We're more hateful now. And we vilify other people more now than we ever have in the past. And why? For some political gains? For a seat in an uncomfortable spot in a big building with a bunch of sweaty know-nothings that sit there and dictate to everybody how you're supposed to live your lives? Is that really what we've come to? It definitely appears to. I mean, it hurts to watch the sorry state of affairs that we are in and the nonsense that is happening. I mean, I don't care what your political view is. If you think anything but these recent trials and the recent convictions of Trump is anything but political posturing in a kangaroo court, I mean, these are what communist bloc countries done. This is what a lot of South American countries have done before they became a dictatorship. They ostracize their political opponent. They put them on trial. They try them. They put them on trial. One where they already know the outcome. They gear everything to the outcome. The government is fully involved in getting a certain outcome, and then they get it. But then the next time there's another opponent, they do the same thing. But it's a little less showy and it's more of a farce until eventually they're not even doing a trial where they try and convince people that what they're doing is legitimate, that they're just going to start throwing their opponents away in jail. I mean, a free nation, that's a laugh. Anybody that thinks now that you're walking around in an entirely free country is deluding themselves. Now, there are pockets that are better than others. Yes, you have the ability to live your life. People don't interfere. Neighbors don't interfere. Government doesn't interfere. Some NGO isn't trying to come in there and tell you what you can and cannot do. But the area in the country where that is able to happen and is shrinking quickly. I mean, there are some states that are better, but it's changing. Demographics are moving. People are moving from one really crappy state because they don't like what it become, but they voted for that, moving to another one that is everything that they had hated before because it's better. But then they turn around and they start changing and voting in the same policies that they just ran from because they didn't work. So not only are we divided, but we're basically completely insane. We know the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. That's what a lot of it is with an election. You vote, whether you vote in the Republicans or the Democrats or whoever. They're all the same. They're all people linked in together. They all take bribes. They all pad their pockets. And you say, oh, no, they don't all take bribes. What do you think lobbying is? It's legalized bribery of your politicians. But only corporations and agencies can go in and lobby. The average citizen can't go in and lobby. If an average citizen went in and said, I have a beautiful lake house and this beautiful property, and if you change this law for my state so I can do this, I'll let you can have it for a month out of the year in the prime fishing season. That's bribery. But that's no different than what the lobbyists do. promise people seats on board of directors when they're done. It's all a load of horse shit. I mean, if they actually took things and took like the RICO Act and used it, you could convict virtually every member of Congress and the Senate and everybody in the White House on a RICO charge because they all work together to steal, they lie, they fabricate documents. You watch them all the time. And it's not anything new. The only difference is they're not hiding it anymore. Shit, they're not even trying to justify their lies anymore or why they're doing what they do. They just do it and say, it doesn't matter what you think. See, the people don't matter. They don't care about the people. The people need to care for themselves. The people need to stand up. And this is where I think it is time that Gen X no longer sits the sideline. We no longer be the forgotten middle child. That we now voice our opinion and we stand up and we speak and we shout it from the treetops, the mountaintops, the tops of all the high rises and houses, and let it be known that we are now going to unify our voice and pick a direction. I think that could be a game changer. Time to get everybody together. Time to unite one generation as a whole. Because we have one thing that other generations do not have. And that is the ability to disagree with somebody fundamentally, and yet we can still talk to them. We can have a conversation with them. We can sit down and we can hammer out some sort of agreement, even though we have fundamentally different beliefs or fundamentally different views. Where the older generations can't. They're too locked in. The younger generations can't because they are taught that anybody that does not think your way, see your way, and believe what you believe is the absolute enemy, is a disgusting individual, and is no longer human in their eyes, so they can treat you any way they want. They can do to you whatever they want because they try and dehumanize you with the things they say and the things they do. And that is a move that people do to their enemy. That is a move that people use when they want to dehumanize a segment of the population, is because they're getting ready to treat them differently. They're getting ready to make them a second-class citizen, no longer a citizen. I know there's someone going to say, you're going crazy. You're starting to sound like Alex Jones did in the day. But no, it's a reality. It's a fact that the more and more you allow one side to dehumanize another, they're no longer considering them part of the system. They just look at them as a disease, something to be eliminated, something to be run over and pushed out of the way and buried in the ground. Now, I get it. You're not going to want to hear this. People don't want to see it. People don't want to talk about it, but it cannot be left alone anymore. You know, my intention was never to go this way and to give a political speech and a view or anything like that when I started this channel. I just wanted to have fun. But the more you see what's going on, the more you have to kind of voice things. And yeah, lately, with what's happened, you can't ignore it anymore, especially coming up. Now, I will never tell anybody who to vote for. Absolutely never. And I will never ostracize somebody for having a different opinion than me and then a different view than me or a different belief than me. Because it's different views, opinions, and beliefs that build a real multicultural melting pot of a country and of a government, because you find some sort of common ground. But there is no common ground anymore. People absolutely hate the other side. Politicians on one side won't talk to anybody from the other, and vice versa. They won't talk to certain people that they deem have a certain view in media or because they talk to somebody else. Like, why are they not? You know what the first thing I would have done if I would have had any of these stations like CNN or MSNBC or all them stuff after Trump was convicted? I would have had him on. I would have invited him on to come and speak his side. You don't have to like him, but you have to allow a person to talk. When they make the rules and say the one person cannot speak about anything and cannot talk because they're gag ordered, but everybody else involved can talk about it all they want. That's not to punish the other person. That is to alter the rules to guarantee one side can win so you can only hear one narrative. Why are they trying to hide the other narrative? They're only trying to hide what they're afraid of, what they don't want you to hear. If they didn't think it was powerful, if they didn't think it meant anything, if they didn't think it would affect anything, they wouldn't stop it from being said or heard. The only thing government ever hides from anybody is the truth. That's the only thing they hide. Because they have basic rules when they're government. If something is a very serious issue, they downplay it. If something isn't that serious but they're in total control of it, they play it as a panic. They try and get people worked up. Why? Because they're in control. Because the one thing the country and the government never wants is an absolute panicked population, because they cannot control an actually panicked population in a real crisis. So when they're getting you to panic, there is no crisis. They're in control of what's happening, which means they can flip it the other way and stop the panic when the time is right, when they've got enough control, when enough people have begged and pleaded and asked for somebody to go, please tell me what to do. Please make it all better. Make the bad guy go away. What do you think's happening now? It's the same shit over and over and over. And yeah, it's going to get tiresome and people don't want to hear it. And if you don't want to hear it, just click off the video right away. Don't watch. If you have a very strong opinion and it's against mine, and you don't like what I have to say, come by Saturday. Come to the live Saturday night at 8 p.m. Pacific. I'm always on at least 2 hours, sometimes 3. From 8 p.m. to between 10 and 11 p.m. Pacific time. Come on, speak to me. I'll bring you up. You can come on now. Talk to me. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why you're right. Tell me why we should just be obedient and not question anymore. This is what you truly believe, and you truly think that you can stand it, because nobody ever will. Because people that are like that base everything on emotion and feeling and not conversation and logic and facts. So they won't talk to you. They'll never admit they're wrong. There's nothing devastating about being wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Sometimes being wrong is a good thing. I would like nothing more to be wrong. I would like to be wrong and believe that the upcoming election will have no questions involved in it whatsoever. Nothing will look shady. Everything will come across completely 100% honestly. And everything will work out and people will listen and there won't be rioting and there won't be fighting and there won't be more nonsense like there was the last 2 times. I would like to believe that. But I don't. I believe it's going to be absolute chaos. But I want to be wrong. Anyway, that's it for now. This is Drac saying peace out, stay safe, and I'll talk to you next time.